Good morning, everyone. Bladen, Breitreiter, incident meteorologist, here with Letty to give you a weather update for the Calf Canyon fire for today, Monday, August 8th. So, it's juicy out there. That honestly feels like it could be the understatement of the year in regards to this monsoon season. But today is going to be a little bit different, and therefore the impacts are also going to be a little bit different. So what we're looking at, we had a backdoor cold front start to come in here across the northeastern portion of the state. You can actually see here the winds at Clayton going north, and then as that front starts to surge towards the southern Sangre de Cristo Mountains, that wind is going to start to try and pull and get a little bit to the east here in response to that. So easterly winds are what's coming towards us, and what that means is upslope flow. So what this backdoor front is doing is it's enhancing lift. So when we think about thunderstorms, a brief review, we need three things. We need moisture, we need instability. Instability is the ability for air basically to be displaced. So in the heat of summer, that's not hard because thermals naturally rise up. Now, and then the last thing we need is lift. Frontal boundaries give us lift. And then in addition to that, we have upslope flow. Upslope flow gives us orographic lift, which means that air is running up the mountain and getting displaced that way. So we have all the ingredients. In fact, we have more ingredients than we need. This front brought us additional moisture. We didn't need any more of that, but it brought it anyway. So today we're looking at an increase in coverage in those thunderstorms. Now, as we go into the afternoon, they're going to do the same thing they've been doing. Typical monsoon pattern, they're going to want to start to initiate over the high terrain here as we get a little bit closer to lunch. And then as we get into the heat of the afternoon, we'll see them increase in coverage to the east here, getting to a point of about 70 to 80% coverage. Now, when I'm talking about coverage as a meteorologist, and especially about rain, you'll hear things like 70% chance. In this case, I'm not talking about chances. I'm talking about the amount of coverage I expect to see and that I'm confident we'll see over the fire area. So when I'm talking about 70 to 80% for today, I'm expecting thunderstorm coverage over 70 to 80% of this area. That equals numerous coverage. In our previous days, we saw scattered, even isolated to scattered. And so this is going to be a pretty significant uptick to that. I'm expecting about an inch to potentially 2 inches of rain to come out of some of these cells today. The big thing to take away from that, though, is a lot of that is going to be localized. So, for example, if we see something form down here over the Guyanas River Basin, that could be dropping an incredible amount of rain here that eventually we would see impacts of all the way down here in Las Vegas. So the biggest thing to kind of keep in mind as we're going in through the day today are the terms localized and distant rainfall. So if you get a flash flood warning from the National Weather Service in Albuquerque today, and you look outside and you're like, this doesn't look too bad, keep in mind that you could be having something all the way down here, towards Bull Canyon or the Upper Colonias, in this area here, and we could see significant and considerable impacts down the way in Tecolote Creek. The same thing is going to happen as we get up into Mora County today. If we get some stuff initiating in and around here, then we could see significant impacts down the 518 and into Mora proper. The reason for that is because we do have a lot of very moderate to high burn severity across a lot of these areas. The good rule of thumb for a lot of these, if you're living in these areas, is to look up and see if you can see some of those burn scars. If you can and they're directly in your line of sight, you could be in harm's way. So it's a good day, especially if you live in this area, to just kind of take a moment and think about what you can do to be prepared today. It's not worth it to wait tell you have a flash flood warning in effect, to go ahead to take action and make sure that you're being safe. So today, as we go in through the day today, keep a weather eye open, listen for thunder, get out of the way of a lot of these storms if you can, and do your due diligence. Check your house, check your emergency kit. Keep in mind, it takes about 6 to 12 inches to sweep away a motorcycle or your average Mini Cooper. And then as we get into your more standard passenger cars, it only takes 12 inches. I don't know how much water it takes to sweep away a truck or a fire engine. I certainly don't want to find out, neither do you. So take your warnings very seriously today. These storms, because our ground is so saturated, we haven't had a break. And these cells keep hitting all these same areas over and over and over. So we could be looking at, less than a half of an inch of rainfall to cause significant impacts downstream today. So stay weather aware out there, take precautions, start preparing now so that in case we do see something happen to initiate over one of these more susceptible areas, you're prepared and you're going to be able to be safe out there. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you again soon. Please be safe.